Hello, welcome to 70 Years, 70 Muppets, a Muppet fan podcast presented by toughpigs.com. This is the podcast where we celebrate the Muppets' 70th anniversary with 70 straight weeks of spotlights on our favorite Muppet characters, from the most popular to the most obscure. I'm this week's host, Ryan Roe, and the Muppet of the week is Sam Eagle, sometimes known as Sam the Eagle, originally performed by Frank Oz, now performed by Eric Jacobson, and designed by Jim Henson, making his world debut in 1975 in The Muppet Show, Sex and Violence. My guest today lives in the same house as me. It's not my cat, it's my wife, Staci. Hi, Staci.
Hi, housemate.
Hi. Let's get right to it. First of all, though, we should tell the listeners that this episode will be wholesome and moral and beyond reproach. Okay?
Absolutely.
You agree? Okay, good.
Yes.
So, Sam is your favorite Muppet.
Sam is my favorite Muppet.
What is it about Sam that makes him your favorite?
I just like how hilariously out of place he is in this ridiculous world of the Muppets. Like, how did he even get there? There's such a sharp contrast between his persona and like all this chaos that's always around him.
Yeah. Can I say what you said when we were talking about this earlier?
Sure. What did I say?
You said it seems like Sam accidentally got on a gay cruise because he thought it was just going to be a gay old time.
Exactly. Yeah, that about sums it up.
But the question then, though, is why does Sam stay? Why does he stick around with these crazy characters?
I think he feels like he has a responsibility
Yeah.
to try to elevate
Yeah.
uh elevate the culture of this crazy group of people. I think he might feel like it's his responsibility to do so.
Right. He somehow stumbled upon the Muppet Show and he was horrified by how strange it is. And
Yes,
he thinks that he's the only guy who can fix it.
exactly. And that's why one of my favorite sketches is the Titwillow one, because you can tell that he thinks like this is it. Like we're gonna do this refined Gilbert and Sullivan piece. This is my chance to, have a culturally enriching performance on this show. And then he realizes that his line is not so refined and a little silly to say.
Right.
And yeah, it's amazing. It's such good humor.
Yeah, he gets on board because Ralph tells him that it's light opera, but then it just ends up with Sam being humiliated.
Yes.
Yeah.
The puppetry in that, I mean, so much of who I think of Sam as being has to do mostly with Frank Oz's puppetry choices
Hmm.
for Sam's reactions to things. Him looking around for the producers during that bit, like,
Yeah, which he does in a few other sketches too.
is
Like,
this
who
what
is he
you
looking
guys?
for?
It's great. And then even just like the moving of the eyes,
Yeah.
he just does so much with that character. I think it's the subtlety of the nonverbal things that Sam does that makes him such a funny, quote, straight man to the Muppets.
Yeah, I think that's true. The shifty eyes, I think, go a long way
Heck yeah.
in establishing his character. But yeah, now that you say that, I feel like he maybe doesn't move as much as other Muppets. Like he could, but he doesn't. He's relatively still
Stiff.
compared
Yeah,
to
he's stiff.
like he's completely on the other end of that spectrum as Animal, another Frank Oz character. So
Right,
yeah,
right,
he
right.
really does a good job with that. A similar moment to that, I think, is when he tells the story of the ant and the grasshopper. I wasn't sure if you had seen this one. I don't.
It's not on the tip of my head, so why don't
Okay.
you tell me about
Well,
it?
it's
Is that a
the
phrase? Is tip of your
tip
head
of
a
my head. Well,
thing?
it is now
I'm terrible with
on the
idioms.
tip of
Why? Yeah, I know tip of your tongue is a thing, but
yeah,
what do you say it
top
when
of your
it's
head,
something top of your, is that what
top
people
of
say? Not
mind.
off the top of my head. Yeah, what
That is
was
what people say.
I know there was a phrase I was trying
Yeah.
to extract from my brain.
And maybe Sam would say on the tip of my beak.
maybe,
maybe.
maybe. So tell me
Uh,
about that sketch.
yeah, he's reading the fable of the ant and the grasshopper to, add more morality to the show, which is where the ant is working hard, and the grasshopper is just goofing off. And the usually the moral is, like when winter comes, the grasshopper is screwed because he didn't take the time to prepare like the ant did. But as Sam is reading the story, he turns the page at the end, and the ending says that the grasshopper drove his sports car to Florida, and the ant got stepped on. And then we
Ah!
see the grasshopper drive across the stage in the sports car, and we see a human foot step on the ant. And
Yikes.
yeah, so again, like Sam thinks that he's in a situation where it's going to work out in his wholesome, moral, cultural way, but it doesn't work out for him.
Right. Well,
Yeah, the ant got stepped on. Any other favorite Sam moments?
I love him during the wedding scene in Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yeah.
It's just such a short little moment,
What does he
but
do there? Remind the listeners.
so they're waiting for the wedding to start, and he just says, "Can we start without them?" And then the news anchor says, "No, we can't until they're here." And then Sam just goes, like, oh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
the part that makes you laugh. Not so
I
much
think
can't we start without them, but when he goes,
No, I relate to the can't we start without them. If this is maybe his first wedding he's been to, that's a great question. Like,
yeah,
when can we start this thing? I'm ready.
right.
But it's okay. It just, first of all, it highlights that it wasn't a sarcastic question. It was a completely
He was earnest with that question. Yeah.
earnest question. And then being told that he can't, he's like, oh, okay, thank you. Thank you for educating me.
Yeah.
I know, it's just so funny.
And I
So
think that actually gets to another part of Sam's personality that maybe we don't think about as much, which is that he's not as smart as he thinks he is. I think that's
how
another
so?
reason
Aside
that
from that.
he's funny. Well, so like in the Rudolph Nureyev episode, he is thrilled that Rudolph Nureyev is going to be the guest star because he's this highbrow cultural figure. But then he says that he thinks Rudolph Nureyev is an opera singer, is the punchline. Rudolph Nureyev, the ballet dancer.
Well, okay.
So he has
Well,
these
maybe I'm
ideas.
uncultured. I need more Sam in my life because I don't know this person.
You didn't know Nureyev?
No,
Oh, well,
no.
how do you feel about ballet? We've never
I
watched
mean, I've been
ballet together,
to a
so
couple ballets before. I think I was just like bummed that they never started singing.
yeah, you want it to be like musical theater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Maybe we should watch some Nureyev clips
sure.
together later. And then another kind of similar thing is when he runs on stage to interrupt Dr. Teeth singing Mac the Knife.
Oh, that's a good one. Wasn't that and just a British sketch? Like that wasn't
That
the
might have been
American
a UK
version?
sketch. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not completely certain off the tip of my head or the top of my.
Yes,
He's also a
exactly.
bald eagle, so it could be like for him, it could be the top of his bald head.
Sure, sure, sure.
But Dr. Teeth manages to convince him that all the lyrics are slang and that it's a song about a man buying pillows for his wife.
That's
And
right.
Sam is just like,
Yes.
"Oh, yes, of course. Well, then that's acceptable. That's okay."
That's also such a
So
great pairing because those two must be almost as opposite on the spectrum as you can get with of rigidity versus
just
like
totally laid back hippie guy.
free-spirited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish they had done maybe one more thing with them like that on the Muppet Show.
Yeah, that was good.
Eventually, on the Muppet Show, he's really mostly, he does talk about himself as an American Eagle, but he's mostly just that guy who's concerned with things being wholesome and
Yeah, I do
pure.
need to clarify that I don't love the newer Sam as like a diehard patriot
Right.
sort
That's
of.
really what they've emphasized, I guess, in most of the time after the Muppet Show. And it might just be because without a variety show, there's less of
But
a
even
job for
in
him to
Muppets
do.
Family Christmas, which isn't necessarily the variety show format, he was still like when he's reciting 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, like he's still very much that like
Oh, he's watching the Sesame Street characters do the night before
oh
Christmas.
right, no,
Yeah.
right, sorry, right. That was oh yeah, that's Bert and Ernie and
Yeah. Ernie is reading it, and then when the monsters come out as the reindeer, Sam is
like frustrated.
shocked and says it's nothing sacred. Yeah.
That's right. For some reason, that quote was in my head, but I thought he was part of the play. But no, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, that's perfect. Like
Yeah.
it's not about, it's not about anything American. It's just about a
You're right.
cultural like purity.
Yeah, when he's surrounded by other Muppets, theoretically the other Muppets should always be weird. So he should always have something to react to in that moment.
Exactly. And that is one of the things I love about Sam. I think he's one of the most consistent characters. Whereas other characters, I think, can surprise you sometimes in like choices that they make in certain storylines and whatnot. I feel like I always know what I'm going to get from Sam, that he's
Yeah.
going to have, like, he never breaks character. He's always going to be like unwavering in his like values and beliefs.
Yeah, pretty
Um,
much.
and he's pretty much gonna always be dismayed by
Yeah, yeah,
everything, all the chaos going on around him.
what a sad fate for him as a character. We were talking the other day when we were kind of planning this recording. We were speculating as to whether Muppet Vision 3D is maybe what cemented the patriotic side of for
Mm.
him in the minds of fans. Um, just because
Because
that,
that was Frank Oz playing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Because I
so many
associate
people.
it more with Eric Jacobson's era
Oh, that's
of
interesting. Yeah, no, that wouldn't. Yeah, that was still a decade away at that point.
hmm.
But I mean that show, which R.I.P., which had just recently closed forever, sadly. But people did continue to see that show with Frank Oz's performance in it for decades
Yeah, well,
after.
I think that particular performance, I can see patriotism fitting into this broader cultural sort of elitism. Like, but
Mm,
I just don't see it. I just don't think it needed to become his main shtick. Like, it
right.
was just
In
so
that
unnecessary.
in that context, they're putting on a show. That's his contribution to the
Yeah.
show.
Is making sure that this is reflecting the authenticity of the celebration or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, but I do think that probably has something to do with the perception of his character because so many people
Yeah.
saw that for so many
But
years.
who made those writing choices since
Well,
then
yeah, that's a good
to
question.
just keep it
Yeah,
going?
various writers.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
like it. I want to go back to old Sam.
yeah, well, he did on the ABC sitcom. His job, I think, was he was the standards and practices liaison. So
That's so
we
perfect for
got to
him.
see a little bit of that. Yeah. You mentioned him always being in character. One thing that always kind of jumps out at me when I rewatch the 2011 movie, The Muppets. He is in the barbershop quartet with Beaker and Link and Ralph when they sing Smells Like Teen Spirit. Does it make sense that Sam would be in such a relatively silly number?
Or does it make sense that he's in it but not reacting the way he did on the Muppet Show
Right. Yeah.
and
Shouldn't
Kit
he be
Willow?
horrified when they shrink Jack Black's head?
Yeah, that almost seems like it wasn't a character choice. They just picked a Muppet.
Maybe they just needed a Muppet with a deep voice for a barbershop quartet.
They needed a bass.
Yeah, yeah. So that might be it. I don't
All
know.
right, I'll take it.
Okay. Yeah, the only other note I really had was about his movie roles. He's had some nice for kind of a supporting character. He's had some nice roles in Muppet Christmas Carol. He's Scrooge's childhood headmaster. That's a fun little scene. In Muppet Treasure Island, he has a pretty big role as Sam Arrow on the Hispaniola.
Yeah, and then in the Muppet movie, oh wait, no, Great Muppet Caper, he has my favorite line of all time.
Oh yeah, which is what?
You are all weirdos.
Yeah. So maybe
It's just
Sam doesn't need a big role to make a big impression because that
no.
line does get a laugh. Like I've seen that in theaters with an audience and with groups of friends. That line gets a laugh every time.
It's just perfect disgust finality.
Yeah.
It's just to me, if you asked me what moment encapsulates Sam, represents Sam, it would be that.
Yeah.
That line. You are all
Yeah.
weirdos.
Right. Well, I was going to move on and talk about him as a detective in Muppets Most Wanted, but I feel
Oh
like
my
that would just be
gosh! Oh, is that my
oh.
favorite? That might be my favorite. Oh no! I like, oh yeah. Gosh, that's the best. The interrogation song is
Yeah.
top notch.
Yeah. One of the best songs in that movie. And he,
Absolutely.
yeah, he gets to be one of the interrogators.
He's so funny.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we both love that movie and pretty much everything with him and Ty Burrell in that movie is funny with their badges and their little car.
Yeah, and I think it's the only time I can think of. We were talking earlier about how he's always sort of like the straight man to the chaos, and in that song, Ty Burrell is like matching his seriousness, and it's just I think it's probably thrilling for him to have another character by his side who's also just so committed to getting to the bottom of this and letting, justice prevail. I think that's one of the things that makes the song so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, good for Sam for getting that song.
Heck yeah.
And yeah, what has he done lately? I don't know. In the 2015 sitcom, he had a crush on Janice. That was kind of funny.
I mean, I feel like I can't think about or talk about that without like getting into some really deep, like trying to understand the psychology of Sam and why he's drawn to her. I mean, because she's so opposite of him.
Right. And
Like,
isn't that why though? Isn't that he is this kind of uptight guy who can't really let himself be a free spirit like she is. So I think that was the idea is
yeah,
that he
but
would
what
be
would that
attracted to.
relationship look like?
Oh, I mean, they couldn't. Yeah, they could never. And I mean, yeah, it was. They kind of played fast and loose with the relationships on that show because everybody, all Muppet fans know that Janice is with Floyd like
With
forever.
Floyd,
They're the
yeah,
one true couple.
we heard them sing. What love song did they sing at the Hollywood Bowl?
Home,
Was that it?
I
Yeah,
think so. Yeah, it was. I would never want to see Sam and Janice dating, but it was kind of fun to see Sam have a crush on her.
sure.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about Sam the Eagle? Because we've come to the end of my notes.
I'm just thinking how, like, there's something very like British comedy about him, that sort of
Oh,
deadpan humor.
yeah.
And that's always something that I've loved. I love like British comedies and I love that kind of deadpan. And I'm just thinking that I bet other people who are into that probably also have an affinity for Sam.
Yeah. And we also didn't get into I think it's the UK spot in the Andy Williams episode when we find out about his sort of sad family life.
Oh, yeah, that was
I've always wondered
weird.
if that was something where they needed to fill time and maybe Jim and Frank and the writers just sort of cobbled that together at the last minute.
Well, we've
It's
heard
very funny, but
we've
also
heard
kind of sad.
Frank talk about how he has always had like very in-depth background stories in his head about all the characters that he plays, and he talks
Right.
about the purity of the characters and like, he really thinks a lot about who they are. So, yeah, it makes it even more interesting. Like, is this what you've always had in your head about Sam?
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah. And I kind of feel like it probably was. So it starts actually with Kermit asking Sam basically,
any place better to be.
why are you here? Yeah, don't you have anything better to do? And Sam basically says no, he has a wife, but they're separated. And he has two kids who are in college that he never hears from. His son is studying taxidermy, and his daughter is dating an owl. So he's estranged from all of his family members, which, again, that's all funny, but you do kind of feel sorry for Sam when you learn that.
What's the human equivalent of your child studying taxidermy?
Oh, that's interesting.
Is it like my kid is wants to run a funeral parlor or like
I guess it's that. Yeah, maybe. I
I
don't
mean
know.
dating an owl, I mean it's still in the species of bird, so is this like an interracial thing?
I
Well, what's
think
going
that's
on here?
the implication. Yeah, that's the joke. Um,
Hmm,
yeah, he's not an eagle, but
gotcha.
yeah. So that's, I guess, if you want to know why Sam sticks around, it's because he doesn't have any family to go back to. But the Muppets welcome him, and sometimes he joins in big group musical numbers, and he gets to be a part of their family, even if he doesn't always understand them.
Wow, what a downer that story was. I'm sad
I was
now.
trying to turn it into something positive.
I know, but I don't know. Now I'm just thinking about him getting ready for work, looking at the picture of his kids that never
Oh
call, and
no.
it's okay. The Muppets will cheer him up.
Yeah, I think maybe secretly, maybe it's that thing where like Oscar the Grouch on Sesame Street is secretly kind of has a good heart. Maybe Sam secretly thinks that the Muppets are all right and he doesn't really mind what they're doing.
Yeah,
And he's maybe a little bit happy to be there.
yeah, he likes those little weirdos.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay,
that's a positive note. Let's end it there.
cool.
Okay, Stacy, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And now Jared will do a very wholesome and morally upright reading of the credits.
70 Years, 70 Muppets is a Muppet Fan podcast presented by toughpigs.com, hosted by a whole myriad of people and edited by them as well. Produced by Jared Fairclough. The Muppet 70 logo used with permission by the Muppet Studio with thanks to Danny Iglesias, Frank Reich Snyder and Lee Slaughter. Don't forget to follow toughpigs.com on all social media platforms. You can support us by heading to patreon.com/toughpigs or buying a t-shirt at tpublic.com/toughpigs.